Cryptocurrency regulations might actually be good for you as an investor, and for so many reasons. That brings us to a big question. What exactly is going on with cryptocurrency regulations? Well, it's an interesting question with so many different dimensions to it. Before we begin, make sure you check out the description below for some of our recommended crypto websites and wallets. Ever since the inception of cryptocurrencies way back in 2009, only very recently everybody started to talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, all thanks to Elon Musk and several other influential figures who spoke about their cryptocurrency investment. But this also means that the government is taking notes, and the regulation of cryptocurrencies are being discussed in the background, all thanks to the increased interest in cryptocurrencies and its price volatility that caught the attention of so many regulators. You can't blame them. Here is why. In the United States alone, the regulation of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are extremely complicated, as there is no single federal authority to deal with these new asset classes. Right now, Bitcoin is considered as a commodity that is regulated by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC. It is considered as a property for tax purposes by the Internal Revenue Services and Bitcoin Futures Exchange Traded Funds, which come under the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. There are so many investors who think that cryptocurrency regulations will take away the founding principles of cryptocurrency. That is, the fact that it is completely decentralized and unregulated. At least the US government, for now, is not worried about the crypto's founding principle. But cryptocurrency regulation has always been a point that was discussed by the US government, according to a very recent report from the Biden administration that throws light on proposed legislation that would bring more regulation to the cryptocurrency market. Very recently, the United States Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and Security and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler expressed their concern over the lack of regulation over cryptocurrencies. But why don't people like the idea of regulating cryptocurrencies in the first place? Well, there are several benefits for decentralization, which is the reason why cryptocurrencies were proposed as an alternative to the fiat currencies. A cryptocurrency network is not limited to any physical location, which means it has got no geographical borders. This resulted in a kind of decentralization, where even governments were not able to effectively stop cryptocurrencies. If at all they want to do something, the only way is to shut the internet down entirely, which is impossible. This means the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies will continue to be that way for the foreseeable future. A currency for the people, by the people, will always be valued by how much people are willing to pay, which is why so many investors are using cryptocurrencies as a hedge against inflation. Cryptocurrencies, even today, are bought as speculative assets where people enjoy massive gains, making this a financial asset that is unlike anything in the market. Very recently, the number of cryptocurrency users exceeded more than 300 million individuals and 18 million businesses worldwide. All of this gives us a hint that cryptocurrencies are now way more established than they ever were before, and more people are investing in cryptocurrencies than ever before. But then there is a huge problem with cryptocurrencies. The newer cryptocurrencies are more volatile than the very established cryptocurrencies in the market. Keep in mind that very well-established cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin will never be able to replace fiat currencies, because businesses don't want to deal with any currency that is as volatile as Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. So instead of blaming the government for their urge to regulate cryptocurrencies, we need to look at why governments want to regulate cryptocurrencies in the first place. The reason behind cryptocurrency regulations is a lot easier than you think. The whole of cryptocurrency might sound anti-government, and it is true to some extent, because of which governments cannot afford to underestimate the power of cryptocurrencies. The current financial system that we have today is based on central banking, and almost all the currencies in the world have their own central bank with their own fiat currencies. It is the central bank that dictates monetary policies that are applicable inside the country. So with these borderless and decentralized cryptocurrencies, it will be very difficult for the government to apply monetary policies because of the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency, making it practically impossible for any authority to implement regulatory policies on the network. With cryptocurrencies, the movement of capital takes place inside a network, which means money is not moving in and out of a country. Government wants to retain the wealth of its citizens inside the country, which could be another reason why regulators are trying to discourage people from converting their fiat currency holding into cryptocurrency. If this happens, that would mean that money will be flowing out of the country without the government being an intermediary. The money that is flowing in and out of a country is taken more seriously in state-controlled economies like China or Russia, but it might be less of a concern in more open economies like the European countries or the United States. The other reason why governments don't like cryptocurrencies once again lies in the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies, which makes it easy for illegal activities to bypass all the legal boundaries we have today. So it's like challenging the existing law of the land, because with cryptocurrencies, the flow of capital cannot be monitored, making it very easy for any illegal activity that might harm the citizens of their country, or even the government. Maybe in the future, the next biggest terrorist activity could be funded by cryptocurrencies. So this decentralization is actually a huge security risk, while being a necessary evil. We also need to talk about the huge energy consumption that Bitcoin is famous for. We need to give credit to Tesla and Musk for popularizing the fact that Bitcoin was never eco-friendly, because it was only after Tesla's decision to suspend Bitcoin payments so many people are talking about the dark side of Bitcoin mining. Of course, the cryptocurrency purists knew about it earlier, but the new investors, well, not so much. Bitcoin uses huge amounts of energy to run the network, and once Bitcoin becomes mainstream, our dependence on energy is going to be huge. The Bitcoin network alone is speculated to consume more energy than countries like the Netherlands or Sweden. The problem with this huge energy consumption is more dangerous than you think, because the energy that is used for mining cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin come from non-renewable sources of energy, which makes Bitcoin not as eco-friendly as people want it to be. There are several countries already dealing with energy shortages, and if crypto becomes mainstream, things won't look good, especially when we need to depend more on non-renewable sources of energy, which will undo every effort we took so far towards sustainability. Cryptocurrencies are also really practical means for tax evasion and criminal activity, because cryptocurrency payments don't need the clearing authority of the very traditional financial system that we have today. As of now, governments were only successful in restricting cryptocurrency mining, few cryptocurrency exchanges, and restricted cryptocurrency payments. With all these measures as of now, governments are only trying to discourage the use of purchasing cryptocurrency. All of this is from the perspective of the government. But why should you care about cryptocurrency regulation? Because we mentioned that it's going to be better for you than it is for the government? We know about Elon Musk's influence on the cryptocurrency market because his tweets were able to pump and dump the cryptocurrency market, especially cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. If cryptocurrencies are regulated, it can benefit you as an investor because the cryptocurrency market is still plagued by market manipulation and price volatility. These cryptocurrencies are still valued based on what people are willing to pay for them, as they do not have any intrinsic value and they are not backed up by any tangible asset. Today, we have more than 7,000 cryptocurrency projects, with all of them trying to do things differently. At least that's what they claim. But most of them are just scams, so it makes a lot of sense why governments want you to be safe with your money. Government regulation will allow select cryptocurrencies to exist to protect investors like you, with the help of a regulatory authority, which clears cryptocurrencies. This authority will be able to discuss all the information about the performance of the digital assets, including their risk and potential. Apart from price volatility, you also need to understand the technological risks of cryptocurrencies, and the governments want you to make informed decisions about your investments. Unregulated networks will have the ability to fund criminal activities, because of which a lot of money laundering activities are synonymous with cryptocurrencies. Ultimately, cryptocurrencies will have a huge impact on the global financial stability, whether the governments regulate cryptocurrencies or not, because moving forward, some form of digital currencies would be the future of value transactions, because we are already used to digital wallets and cryptocurrency payments, even though it is not widely used yet. According to the World Economic Forum's Global Future Council, there has never been any internationally controlled regulation of cryptocurrencies, even though several international bodies are working on assessing the risks and making appropriate policy in response to the rise of cryptocurrency. We already have several central banks and regulators having their eyes completely glued onto this growing trend. Maybe central bank digital currencies might be the future of digital payments and not cryptocurrencies, which is why banks are slowly working on building their own version of a digital currency, and that might change everything moving forward, and we no longer will have to deal with price volatility. But everything will be at the cost of decentralization that we have with cryptocurrencies right now.